As you know, throughout the semester you will complete one task each week, whether that's an exam or a quiz or assignment or a discussion board. So in this video, we're going to talk about discussion boards and go through the basics about all the information. This is an overview, so if you have specific questions about a specific discussion board, make sure you reach out to me and ask any questions that you have. So the overview, or the reason for the discussion boards, is to have a discussion that we would normally have in class that potentially, oh, my thing is out of whack. Let's see. Oh, there we go. We're going to have a discussion about something I would normally have in class, but since we are in online setting, this is a way to interact with your peers, to get to know each other a little bit better. I think one of the things that's really lacking in online classes is that you don't get to actually interact and learn from each other. There is a lot of research that shows the interaction you get from your peers is actually even more important than the interaction you get from me. And so this is one of those few opportunities in this kind of setting where you get to do that. So what I've tried to do is I've tried to create prompts that are open-ended, that often are opinion-based or experience-based, where you get to share something you have experienced or a viewpoint you have on life with your peers and have an open dialogue and discussion. Of course, as always, I hope that you can remain respectful, so even if you disagree with someone, you can provide another viewpoint or another avenue to think about it. There's nothing so controversial in this that I really foresee it getting bad. I've never seen that happen before, but just keep in mind we're still in an academic setting and we want to make sure we make everyone feel welcome, even if you don't necessarily agree with their ideas or think that maybe there's a better way to view whatever that discussion topic is. So what will happen is I will give you a prompt that might be based on a video you need to watch. It might be based on a case study. It might be based on something in one of the chapters. It's an idea. Sometimes you're going to have multiple different options, so you might have 2 or even 3 prompts where you get to pick one of those prompts to write about. Your follow-up can be about anything. It doesn't have to be about the same one that you did. So there's a lot of flexibility, a lot of variation that you're able to go through and look at everyone's responses and really respond as many times as you want. It's not I write one post and then I do one follow-up. You can do more than that, because the whole point is really to interact and build relationships with this network you're building from the THM major, from MTSU, that you're really able to build these important contacts for the rest of your career. So you're going to get this case, this prompt, this situation, and you're going to post an original post. And here's the key. Make sure you're including as much module material as possible. In addition to being a discussion that we would normally have in class, it really should incorporate as much of the module as you can to show that there is a direct connection to whatever it is we're talking about in class to the actual material that we're going over. So for example, if you are watching a video about a review and you want to talk about guestology, you want to talk about key drivers, you want to bring in some of these other key components, use terminology, use ideas, really incorporate as much as you can. That's going to get you a better grade, because it shows me that you are really understanding the module material, you're connecting it back. The goal of each week, whatever task I give you, is to help you understand the material and to help you prepare for the exam. And the best way to do that is to actually utilize the material that you're learning throughout the module, not just answer this one post with your opinion. It's not enough. I need more than that. I need you to show me that you're going above and beyond. So if you want that perfect 10 score, you need to go above and beyond. Otherwise, it's an average, it's a 7 if you just stay very surface level. So here's the other key. You have to post at least twice. That means you need your original post and you need to follow up to someone else's. I really encourage you to follow up to more than one post, but you're only required to follow up to one. And we'll get into some of the semantics of that in just a moment. So some other things to keep in mind: your original post must be 200 words, and I will actually count. So there's this handy dandy thing, I don't know if you notice here in your Word document, it will show me how many words are on any given document. So I can take whatever you've posted in your discussion board, I can put it in a Word document, and I can even highlight it and it'll show me how many words. So just to give you an idea, I've been grading discussion boards with this 200 word requirement for years. I can typically look at a discussion board and tell you whether or not it's 200 words. I will check. And if it's less than 200, I will give you a 0. If it's 198, I will give you a 0. Please make sure you're counting and you're checking your 200 words. So in this case, this level of paragraph is only 132 words. It is not enough for your original post. So make sure you're getting that 200 word count minimum. Now, that being said, do not waste space. So just like with assignments, I don't want you to waste space. I don't want you to do it with the 200 words either. What does that mean? If everyone has already read the case study or looked at the video or any of those other things, you do not need to summarize or recap. We have already all seen it. That is wasted space. That is wasted words. I want you to take whatever everyone else has seen and then continue the discussion. We would never have a discussion in class where we all read a case study together and then someone came up and summarized it again. That's not a discussion, that's a summary. I don't want a summary. I don't want you to just repeat or regurgitate what already existed. I want something new that shows what you know, that shows your synthesis. So make sure you're not doing that. Your follow-up post does not have a minimum word count. However, let me show you this really quickly. If you look at the discussion rubric, your follow-up post is worth as many points as your original post. So if your original post requires 200 words, consider that with your follow-up post. That I see a lot of times with follow-up posts, they're extremely short, add no new information, no new value, don't include new module material. That is not a good follow-up post because it doesn't actually lead to discussion. There's no call and response. So for example, if someone writes a good post you like and say, wow, I really liked your post, it was really great, I hadn't thought about it that way, that's a 0. You've added no value to the discussion. I'm glad you enjoyed the post, but you didn't do anything. That post doesn't contribute to having a true and actual discussion where you can go above and beyond. So if you really agree with that person, take it a step further. Provide another example. Provide another avenue of the module material that wasn't included yet. Find some other way to go above and beyond. And if you can't think of a way, find a different post to respond to. If you disagree, don't just say, I disagree, I think you're wrong about this. Say what you would do instead, or provide another example, or provide more module material. So the goal isn't just to say I agree or disagree, but to actually provide additional content. Because again, this follow-up post is worth as many points as your original post. And I cannot tell you how many times someone only posts an original post, or if they do a follow-up post, they didn't do a true follow-up post and it was only an agreement or disagreement post, which will get 0 points. So make sure you're actually taking it seriously and putting as much into your follow-up post as you put into your original post. Okay, spelling, grammar, and punctuation are very important because again, just like your assignment, it's on a -5 to 5 point scale, meaning you can get negative points for not doing a proper grammar and spelling check as well as citations. Very rarely will you really need to have citations in a discussion board, but if you do, make sure they're both in text and in a works cited, and make sure you're using APA. A works cited is never counted towards your word count limit. So if you put a works cited and it's 20 words, that does not count towards that 200. I always recommend writing out your discussion board in Word first so that you can use the tools such as spelling and grammar check, okay? And in case, say, you're typing really fast and you're used to just using I without, capitalizing it, it will automatically capitalize it for you. So you have less to worry about not meeting those grammar and spelling requirements and making sure that you're getting full score there. So keep in mind that if you write average things and they're not really insightful, they're not really deep, they're just basically surface level, you don't really contribute a lot, you're going to get a 7 or even lower. If you really want to get that full 10 score, you're going to need to go above and beyond and show that you really put a lot of thought and effort into your post and your follow-up post. So if you get average scores on both of these and don't really have any grammar, spelling, or APA issues, you're going to get a 19 out of 25, which is about a B. So make sure that if you want something better than that, that you're actually working towards that. All right, some other points. So we talked about summarizing, don't do that. We talked about just agreeing, you need to go beyond that. Incorporating as much module material as possible, we've talked about that. We've talked about both the original and the follow-up post are both equally important. You get as many points for one as you get for the other. Some just basic formatting, make sure you're hitting that 200 word minimum for your original post. Make sure you're doing that follow-up post and it's more than an agreement. spelling, grammar, proofreading, APA. So that's the basics of the discussions. It should be pretty straightforward. I know you all probably use social media. You're going on and talking to people. So you have some experience doing this, but remember this is a formal academic setting, so it needs to be a more formal writing style. You need to make sure you're putting in module material, you need to make sure you're using your grammar and spelling, and you need to make sure that you are making it content rich. So if you have any questions about discussions, these are worth 25 points. So again, an exam is worth 100 points, and this is worth 25, which is a considerable portion of that if you really consider it. So make sure you're treating this very seriously. Make sure you're getting on early because you have to do a follow-up post. What I see a lot of times is we get to Friday nights and someone put their original post at 11 p.m. and their follow-up at 11:15. I'm not saying that that's impossible to do, but as the week progresses, typically the grades go down because the work goes down. So, get in there early in the week and put your original post. Follow up a couple times, add more than one follow-up post, add some insight, and really incorporate that material that you're learning to show me that you really understand it and really understand how to synthesize it into real-world examples, because most of these discussions are real-world examples. So, good luck this semester. If you have any questions about discussions, please feel free to reach out. I look forward to reading and learning more about you as we go along with the semester.